Yes, it's time to move to Liverpool now,
Really?
where the Labour Party conference is wrapping up.
Thank God for that.
Leader Keir Starmer's speech was disrupted by a glittery gate crasher after a protester threw it all over him.
It delayed the speech as the activist was dragged off stage by security and arrested, but Starmer, to his credit, laughed it off and went on to declare that the tide is turning for Labour.
Well, Talk Radio's political editor Peter Cardwell has been in Liverpool all week for us. Peter, dramatic and fabulous scenes yesterday.
It was certainly dramatic, there's no doubt about that. We had the very chaotic, really, start to the speech, and certainly there were a lot of people worrying about security and what was happening there. There have been questions raised about that, but certainly the speech, when he got into it, took his jacket off, rolled up his sleeves, and at that stage he was talking about so many things that Labour wanted to hear and what he thinks the country wanted to hear as well. He talked about getting Britain building again, 1.5 million homes. That's a very big ambition over the course of the next Parliament. But it wasn't just about the next Parliament, it was about a decade of renewal. Keir Starmer has talked about switching on Great British Energy, a new nationalised energy company that he says he wants to have in Scotland. The NHS was a big theme as well, and so was law and order as well, talking about the problems with shoplifting, for example, with antisocial behaviour. That was something that Keir Starmer talked about, but really it was about rallying the troops. The atmosphere here is like no conference I've ever been to, and I've been to quite a few. Labour feel, to many people here, and they could be wrong, that they're on the cusp of victory. That's what the polls say. That's what Keir Starmer was reflecting yesterday. I think it's the best speech I've seen him give. But at the same time, there are many questions left in terms of how he's going to get the growth he needs for the economy to get moving again, and also how he's going to deliver on his promises, especially that big house building one. So there are some questions left for Keir Starmer, but certainly the troops are rallied and Labour are in a strong position as they go into the next election.
Pete, you know this, you've done this many, many years. There will be people for and people against. I read reports this morning it was lacking in detail, but it wasn't about that. It was about projecting unity and a vision and a belief that the Labour Party could lead this country after the next election. Has he done that? Has he wrapped that all up in the 3 days?
It's an incredibly united Labour conference. The unity is there. People will argue about the vision, whether it's there or not, but certainly it was a speech that people in the hall wanted him to succeed, and we'll see what people at home think. We'll see when the polls come in, probably at the weekend. We'll see if there's a sort of Starmer bounce, a conference bounce. But certainly, Jeremy, I think this is a very united party, very few leaks, very few people sniping from the sidelines, very little opposition. This is a Labour Party very much transformed from a few years ago, and they will argue that they're ready for government. There's certainly a united party. We know that divided parties don't win elections, and there's absolutely no doubt that the Conservatives last week in Manchester divided. Labour here in Liverpool are united.
Pete, you know as well as I do, you need to tell Starmer he'll never get that glitter out of that suit. He might as well give it to charity, as Nick said, and raise some money. It's gone. Peter Cardwell, thank you. Just